Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Alejandra Horvath, and I'm very excited with this new series of quick tips in Excel. So this is a new, let's say, a new thing that I'm doing for my channel. I'm testing a few things here and there, but I'm very excited to bring these quick tips in Excel. And without further ado, let me start showing you what we're going to see today. I want to show you how to group pivot tables by numbers. So let me start sharing my screen. What is the share? Thank you so much for you. I can see people are already here. So thank you so much for being here. And for those who are going to be watching the recording version, thank you so much for being as well here. So let me start sharing my screen. And the goal today is to have the numbers that I have in this table. I want to group them in a pivot table, let's say from 0 to 999, and from 1,000 to 1,999, and so on and so forth. So how are we going to do this? That's what we're going to be working on today. So you can see in here that I have the names of the people who owe money. This is the account number, and this is how much they owe to, let's say, to the tax service. Okay, so we need to group them because we need to know which group of people are the ones that are making the most of the balance that we haven't collected. And let's say if I collapse this part here, I can see that I have 4.6 million outstanding, and I can see that there are two specific groups that are driving this amount. So let's say, without further ado, I'm just going to copy this pivot table here, Control-C. I'm going to open a new workbook. I'm going to click here, and you can also press Control-N. I'm going to Control-V here, so we can start from scratch. I'm going to, actually, let me make this a little bit bigger. So here is my table. I'm going to go to Insert, Pivot Table, from Table Range. I want this on the existing worksheet, and I don't want to add this to the data model. Ideally, you create a pivot table in a new worksheet, and you create one worksheet or one tab per pivot table. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to do everything just on the same page. Now that I have this, I have selected the location on cell G2. I'm going to say OK. My pivot table is here. And let's say here is the trick. I have, well, first, let me move the first name to the rows, the last name to the rows as well, and the count. Now, I want to bring the balance to the amount, but then I also want to bring the balance to the rows, and I'm going to bring that on the top of everything else. So I'm going to drag it and release that here on the rows section. And now you can see that I have a 200 here on column G, and also I have a 200 on column H. Perfect. That's what is going to help us to group. If I don't do this, let me remove that balance so I can show you. I'm going to remove that balance from the rows. I'm going to take it away from there, and I'm going to just leave the balance there. I'm going to go here to where it says Design tab, Report Layout, show in tabular form, so it looks a little bit better. It looks quite messy, so I'm going to right-click on this total, and I'm going to remove that check mark on subtotal last name. Also, I'm going to do that where it says August total, so I'm going to right-click there, and I'm going to remove the subtotal first name. Perfect. So I asked ChatGPT to create the list of names, just random names, and I just realized that created August and April as first names. So anyhow, so I'm having fun with ChatGPT, as you can see. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to select Field Settings, Layout Print, and I'm going to repeat Items Labels, because I'm going to have names that are going to be the same, but the last name is going to be different. And also the account number is going to be different. So if I leave my pivot table as is, if I go to any of the numbers here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to look for group. I don't have group here at all. Okay, well, I'm going to stay here on the sum balance column. I'm going to go to the pivot table Analyze tab, and I'm going to look for group. And as you can see, it's grayed out. I cannot select group. That's why we're going to do this trick, that we are going to select the balance here on my pivot table fields. I'm going to select that from there, and I'm going to grab it and drop it on top of everything else that is on the rows box. So if I leave this at the end, it's not going to work that well, because then it's going to group at the end of the account, and I don't want it there. Where I want the balance, I'm going to move it and drag it to the top on the rows box. I'm going to release that there, and now I have the number 200 right here. That's exactly what I wanted. Once I'm here inside of this column, I'm going to go to Pivot Table Analyze, and I'm going to just go to Group. Now you can see Group Selection. So I'm going to I can click there, or I can right click on the cell, on my active cell, and I'm going to group. And just let me check something here on the chat. I just want to make sure that you can see perfect. Yes, you can see perfectly. You can see well. So I want to say, I want to start at number 0. I want to end, let's say I cannot have accounts with an outstanding balance of 7,000. So I'm going to say 7,000. That's going to be my maximum. My minimum will be 0. So I want to be grouped by 1,000. I'm going to say OK. And here we have the group per amount. So I'm going to, as you can see, we can see the names, the account, and the balance of every single person. This group has from 0 to $999. I'm going to collapse this part so you can see now from 1,000 to 1,999, and you can see that the numbers are correct. But let's say I want to sort this number by descending order. So I'm going to go, let's say first name, I'm going to click at the row. I'm going to say more sort options. I'm going to select descending, and here on the drop-down list, I'm going to select sum of balance, and I'm going to say OK. Now I have this information sorted in descending order. Maybe not. It didn't work. So let me go with the last name. Let's see that one, if that one works. So more options, descending, and I'm going to say sum of balance, and I'm going to say OK. Now it worked. Oh, thank God. So now 1,900, 1,600, 5, 4, 3, and so on. No, it didn't work. Well, I'm going to show you how we're going to do that, because if I try to do that here, if I try to sort, I just can't sort if I sort by the sum of balance. So I don't know. I'm going to try the same with the account and see. Let me just check this one out. Descending, sum of balance, and I'm going to say OK. No, so what I'm going to do is probably I'm going to remove. No, what we're going to do something different, because there is also something that I don't like. And I don't like that the first name and the last name are in different cells. So I'm going to go to the table. I'm going to add one column. So I'm going to select the column, Ctrl+ to add that column. And I'm going to call that full name. Enter. And I'm going to say Sofia space Telles, enter. Once I did that, Ctrl+E, and then I activate, let's say, my flash field, everything is going to have the same structure. Name, space, last name. Excellent. Now I have the full name. I'm going to go to my pivot table. And from my rows, I'm going to remove first name. I'm going to select it and drag it. And you can see if I drag it to inside of my worksheet, you can see there is an X. I'm going to release that there. And that's a way to remove that from my rows box. Or I can also go here on my pivot table fields, just right here on my left. And I want to remove last name. I can remove that check mark. That's another way that you can do that. Now that I have my full name, first, I need to refresh my pivot table. Inside of my pivot table, I'm going to right click and I'm going to refresh. And now you can see that full name is here on the list. I'm going to select that. I'm going to drag it between the balance and the account. I'm going to release that there. Now you can see that we have the full name just right here Perfect. And I don't want the subtotals. I don't want a total per name. I'm going to right click there and remove the check mark where it says subtotal full name. Perfect. And now let's see if my trick works. So I'm going to click here at the row. I'm going to say more sort options, descending, and I want to sort by the sum of balance. I'm going to say, okay. Oh, it worked. It worked because it has only one name. I don't know why it didn't want to work with the first name and last name, but when you have the full name, it works, okay? And look, it's sorted in descending order, no problem. Excellent. So I'm going to go to the top here, control a row up. I'm going to right click to the 1,000 to 1,999, and I'm going to expand collapse, and I want to collapse entire field. So you can see that I have all the groups here from 0 up to 7,000. And let's say if I change this name, Sofia Telles, if I change that for 6,500, let's say I'm going to say enter. Right now I have 6,010 only as the balance. I have only one person, which is Mercedes, right here. So now that I change this name, Sofia Telles, I go to my pivot table, I right click and I refresh. Now I have also Sofia Telles here in this group of 6,000 to 7,000. So that is the quick tip that I brought for you today. So let me just quick see. Balance. Where you trying to sort. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, KCBC. Thank you so much. I'm just checking the chat. Just give me 1 second. I'm used to my long tutorials. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Excellent. As you can see, it works with the full name. Thank you. I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. And you meant by the first name. Excellent. Well, that's all that I have for you today. These tips are very short, but it takes me forever to edit all this information, and it takes very long for me to bring this information to you. So I'm going to be doing this in a daily basis. So stay tuned, check my channel, please. If you like, if you find this information useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also share with anybody that you believe can benefit from it. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because tomorrow I'm going to show you how to do this with Power Query. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.